welcome to the podcast, Can You Take My Shift? Your favorite coworkers are off the clock and back for another episode. The toxic gossip train running to the station. I never groomed a minor. I just made fun of people for lots and lots of money. I have never groomed a child. I've never made fun of anybody, and my team told me not to do this, but I don't want to lose the millions of dollars I have made from children. So every allegation against me is false because I'm just a hot loser. Sorry, she shows off how. Okay, hi, welcome back to the podcast. So I should probably say that. If you don't know what's going on, then you are not terminally online, and you know what?
Good for you.
You're better for it. You are better for it. You must touch grass every single day. So, yes, of course, today we're going to talk about Colleen Ballinger and the disastrous apology. But not an apology that she put out. As of course everyone's talking about it because it's fun YouTube drama. And yeah, let's pile on this woman who deserves it.
Truly.
Because love may not unite us all, but hate certainly will.
If there's one thing that can bring the entire internet together, it is hating on a single individual. And honestly, kind of beautiful.
Mm-hmm. So you're probably wondering why I played the ukulele so terribly. Well, that's how it felt watching. I only watched the first minute of the video because I couldn't. And I didn't want to give her views, so I watched the first minute on Twitter, and then somebody transcribed the whole thing, so I just read it because I was like, I don't want to sit through this. But one thing people kept going is hey, let me sing a not apology. Quirky with my tiny ukulele. Also, let me show you how thin I am and how good I look. I'm not thin, so I just showed some cleavage because that's the part I can show off. Mm-hmm. But the whole thing is just my team told me not to do this. When your mom says, hey, maybe don't touch the hot stove?
Don't touch the hot stove.
Yeah, so maybe you shouldn't have put it out if you did not want to become the laughing stock of the internet. And when somebody on the internet does something. Here, I'm going to put the ukulele down.
Fair enough.
I don't need to hold it the whole. I'm supposed to hold it for 10 minutes so you can get at least ad revenue.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So when you mess up on the internet, people say, "Oh, people dogpile." But it's easier to point out that someone's a shitty person when everybody else is already doing it. So you can be like, "Yeah, they're shitty. So they did this thing, and this thing is also terrible." So more and more stuff keeps coming out about her. So we posted. So last episode, we posted this clip on our social media about Amy going, it's only halfway to 2023. What could happen next? And then that's when the Colleen stuff started.
And I would just like to say real quick, that was not a challenge. I was not saying that to be like, damn, I can't wait. It was ironic. And as soon as the stuff about Colleen came out, I was like, okay, well.
Colleen truly was hold my beer.
Yeah, okay, I truly thought that maybe, at first I was like, oh, the Queen died this year. That's pretty big. And a bunch of millionaires died in a submarine. Okay.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Woo. That's not this episode. That was last episode. And now, Colleen Ballinger of Miranda Sings and YouTube fame is put out a 10-minute long non-apology video talking about how she didn't groom minors. The only thing she's ever groomed are her 2 cats.
Her 2 Persian cats.
She must have been so proud of that line. She must have been so proud of it. But I just, it was not a it was not a challenge.
It was not. So a little bit of backstory for those who don't know. So her name's Colleen Ballinger. She has 2 YouTube channels, or 3, I think. She has a vlog channel, and she has Miranda Sings, and I think she just has like another Colleen channel.
I think so.
So she rose to infamy. So I watched a bit of her videos for a little bit. I never liked Miranda Sings, the character. I just preferred like her own personal videos. But Miranda Sings was this character she made up that was supposed to be like making fun of like musical theater girls, but like it seems like she's making fun of someone who has like a developmental disorder.
Yeah, I don't know like the best way to describe Miranda Sings. Like she's very much like someone who's very like off-putting, but it's supposed to be in like a quirky, goofy way, and I'm putting air quotes around these words.
Mm-hmm.
I never really got into like Collie, and I never really got into Miranda Sings. I did watch the first season of Haters Back Off, her Netflix show, and it wasn't the worst. Like at the time, it was just like it was a show everyone was watching, so I was like, okay. I'm like, it wasn't too bad. The main guy in it, her like I think it was supposed to be like her love interest. He was like the best part of the show. I don't remember a whole lot about the show. I couldn't tell you what it was about. I remember she had like her creepy uncle in the show, again in quotes.
Yeah. No, so a big reason why I watched Haters Back Off is because it was filmed at Vancouver.
Oh yeah. Did we watch it together?
I think we watched the first season together. Yeah, because I always love to try and watch shows filmed here because that's where we live. And I love watching shows that are filmed here but are supposed to be somewhere else. And us going, there's a Whitecaps poster behind. Just making like, seeing like silly mistakes that they make. But I watched the first season and I was like, oh, it's not that bad. I think like with a professional team, I think they edited things that like on her YouTube she would get away with, but they knew on Netflix they probably wouldn't get away with. So it got 2 seasons. You know, it had like it had Angela from The Office played her mom. And I think she was the biggest name in it, besides like obviously Colleen. But it was not bad. It got canceled, and then she also has a Netflix special.
Like a comedy special?
Yeah, she has a comedy special as well. So she's got like 3 things on Netflix. She's written, that's also going to be in quotations, 2 books under Miranda Sings. I watch a lot of book YouTubers, and oh boy, that book is disgusting. Especially when one page is like how to make friends, and it's a picture of her and Shane Dawson, so that did not age well.
There was another page in the book, I don't know if you saw it, she went on a live stream and she was talking about one of the books she made. I think it was like the self-help book.
Yeah.
Apparently there was a mistake on every single page, and that was supposed to be, you know, part of the quirkiness of it.
Mm-hmm.
One of the pages was how to draw a hot dog. And so it was like, and don't ask me why, I don't know why. It was a step-by-step guide on how to draw a hot dog. And in this live stream, Colleen has said that she wanted it to look like she wanted it to look like a vagina. That was the whole point of it. And as it's trying to launch, she was like, oh, okay, we have to like the 5th step, and the 5th step is like the hot dog and the bun. And I wanted to have a doodle of like ketchup on it, so it looked like bloody and gross. And in the video, she's like, I want it this way because like I'm perverted, but it wasn't allowed. Huh? I just saw this clip on Twitter, and I was like, no one questioned this woman however long ago when this book came out, and she said that to minors. to minors. Like, that is so,
Yeah.
that's not quirky. That's not
No.
quirky. That's gross. That is so inappropriate.
It's so incredible. Like, the whole book is incredibly inappropriate. And then she likes to say, "Oh, I'm PG-13." But look at your audience. Colleen, even she knows her audience. So she goes on, she has her own little family. So she's divorced from her first husband. She ends up marrying and so getting pregnant and then marrying the guy who played her love interest on Haters Back Off. And apparently she may have cheated on her husband with him, but whatever. They have 3 kids. But Colleen is also from a big family, and her brother and his wife, they have a vlog channel. And
yeah, they do.
they like hella exploit. They're one of like the family vloggers who are like always shoving the camera in their kids' faces. But Colleen has a nephew who loves her and just like idolizes her, and he loves Miranda Sings, and he was for dressing up like Miranda Sings. So she knows children enjoy her shit. Who is buying like her tickets? It's all kids. So don't say like, you don't say, "Oh, suddenly now you're PG-13." No, you're a perverted sicko, and children are watching your shit. Like, you can say like, this is like, it's just like Facebook going, "There's no 10-year-olds on Facebook because we said you have to be 13."
For legal reasons, this is a joke, but it's not like anyone here has ever pretended to be an age they're not to get onto a website they're not supposed to be on. Let's be real. It's the internet.
Let's be honest here. Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
be honest. Like, it's the internet. I was dumb and went on Omegle when I was however young. We never did like the webcam part because me and my friend were way too scared to. But we did like the chat and stuff, and that was always like kind of sketchy. You never really knew what you were getting yourself into, right? And again, there's I'm not saying like parents should police their kids better. I'm not saying that at all. It's more just like knowing your audience, and when you understand that your audience is like, you can have an audience from like 10 to 30. But if you know like a good core, like if a good core of your audience is under 18, or at least like you have people who watch who are under 18 and they make it very well known, you need to watch yourself. Like I just it baffles my brain how she got away with this for so long.
And like she says she's not, but like you're subconsciously, because you, as a lot of people who want to be creators and want to like create things, you get to a point where it's like, am I doing this because I love this, or am I doing this because I want the dollar amount? And she saw, so when you want to create things, you try new things, and like not every painting is going to be a masterpiece, so you constantly are trying new things. And she found something that worked for her, and like she pushed it, and she got, I think this woman has such a massive fucking ego that she literally thought she could get away with murder. She was literally like, she was friends with all the biggest people, and she thought she could get away with it. Like, a lot of people don't know, Colleen Ballinger and Ariana Grande used to be best friends.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like Colleen was in a music video.
Yeah, so in Thank You Next, Colleen's in that music video, pregnant. There's a pregnant girl in that music video. If you know who Ariana Grande is, that's Colleen Ballinger. They were friends. I think they went to the same musical school together, and they kind of like parted ways, and Ariana clearly was like, you could see like Ariana was very much distancing herself from Colleen, but Colleen would be like, "Yeah, we're still friends. We're still friends." Because Ariana knew that was a sinking ship. I'm sure her people probably told her, "That's a sinking ship.
Yep.
Stay away from that." And now the ship has sunk just like that submersible. I had to slide one.
Yeah,
I had to do it. I had to do it too.
That's okay. It was good.
Yeah. It was good. And now like something's come out that like she was in blackface dancing to Beyonce's Single Ladies.
Yeah, so that is, I guess, in one of her live shows, it's a video of her doing Single Ladies, and there's paint all over her face. A legal representative, though, has come out saying that apparently she did a Wicked scene before, and it was green face paint.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying who is
Oh
correct,
yeah.
who is not, but I'm just like, you gotta realize though, like that's probably like a little like that's some like pretty damning evidence. I also love that all of a sudden now Colleen's team is talking on her behalf.
Mhm.
One of the crazier things about this whole situation is the video is still up on YouTube. The video is up on YouTube. It has almost 10 million views.
Of course, because she made it so she can get money off of it.
Yeah. But I'm just like, how has your team not just, like, so you know how Adele
Mhm.
got her social media account taken away from her because
Yes.
she posted one photo that was very, very distasteful, and she
Yeah.
got it immediately revoked.
Mhm.
How is Colleen's team not doing the same thing? Is there something in her contract somewhere saying that like she has full rights to these things? Like she must. Because
She
the
must.
fact that these things are staying up, the fact that the next day she posted on the Miranda Sings TikTok account saying like she was in her like costume being like, oh, like you probably heard the allegation, there's some dramas going on. She like burps in the video. It's disgusting. Like it's so, yeah, she literally it's like a
I've not seen
oh
that.
my god, it's so bad. Yeah, she's in the TikTok being like Miranda Sings, and she's like, you probably heard like the allegations, and then it cuts like a burp, and then like it
Mhm.
continues, and then it goes to like a black screen with text saying like, oh, like the full video is up on my YouTube for like the full explanation, and it's essentially to drive to that video.
She knows she's not going to be making any money for a while.
Yeah.
This is on purpose.
Oh, it
She is
has to
trying to
be.
get as
Has to be.
much money
Yeah.
because that video was just long enough that it can be monetized.
Mm-hmm.
So she is so like when you mess up, like this is her revenue thing cuz she, she has a house, so she probably has a mortgage. She lives in LA, so it's definitely not a cheap mortgage. I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure she lives in LA. You've got like you got bills and you have 3 children. And her husband is like a D-E list actor. Like he's a day player. He is not famous.
No.
His most famous thing about him is that he is attached to her. He has not done this has not done him any favors, and he's an
No.
actor.
Nope.
So there's not going to be any money coming in. And she's also got a whole team of people that she's got to pay. Because I'm sure she has editors. She has a manager. Well, we don't know if her team. She probably doesn't have a publicist, or if she did, that publicist is long gone. Like she did this on purpose because she noticed there's no money coming in, because she saw like her and Shane Dawson used to be friends. She saw like what happened with Shane Dawson and how he like went away and then still like is tried to come back, but he's never ever going to have the numbers he once previously had or the money he once previously had, because you lost public favor. And like when you lose public favor, it is very hard to get it back. And the fact that since she decided to take zero responsibility, accountability, like you
Yeah. I
yeah.
think one of the crazy things too, and I we all know like Shane Dawson has like quote unquote come back. Like he still posts on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
But the one like really big differentiating feature between Colleen and Shane is Shane was never able to break into Hollywood. That was like his whole
Mm-hmm.
shtick. He could never get into Hollywood. Colleen has. She
Mm-hmm.
has ties with people in Hollywood. And I think the reason Shane is still able to have like a small audience is because his audience is all on YouTube. So they'll still come to him. Colleen's audience is so much bigger that I don't really think a lot of her revenue is coming from YouTube anymore. So if she wanted
Mm-hmm.
to now just like stay on YouTube, she will not be making nearly the amount of money she will, and there is no way she'll ever get like a job in Hollywood again. There, like I mean, I say that people have. We say that she is quote unquote canceled. We all know cancel culture isn't a real thing. As much as people like
Mm-hmm.
to believe, it's not.
As much as Joanne likes to push.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So there is a very high chance that, I mean, she will be fine. We know this. We know
Yeah.
this. She'll be fine. But I think it's going to be really, really hard for her to get that perspective back. I believe she just canceled one tour date that she had in August coming
Mhm.
up. But the rest of her tour is fine. And she is 100% waiting out public opinion to see
Mhm.
if she can continue touring for the rest of those dates.
I think what really so she put the video out, and what really damned her was the Trisha video.
Yes. Yep.
Now, for those who don't are lucky enough not to know who this woman is the infamous Trisha Paytas. Now, or Paytas. You have seen this woman once in your life because she randomly pops up places.
Yep.
Like, she was on My Strange Addiction for being addicted to tanning. She was on America's Got Talent. She was on Ellen. She literally pops up in an episode of Modern Family. Like, she dated Quentin Tarantino briefly. Like, oh,
What?
did you not know about that one?
No.
She's also in like an Eminem music video.
That I knew. That I knew.
She has she has her YouTube video, I mean her YouTube channel, with such hit songs as I Love You Jesus. Um so that's for older audience members. For our younger audience members, she is like an OG YouTuber. She used to be best friends with Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star, and then she dated a friend of David Dobrik, so she like moved to the Vlog Squad, and then they broke up, and she became friends with Ethan Klein because she married his brother-in-law.
Which I thought was a joke for the longest time. And for those who don't know, Ethan Klein runs a very well-known internet podcast called H3. Or H3H3. Mm-hmm. It's the H3 podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought that whole thing was a joke. I thought it was a joke, and then it just kept going, and I was like, okay, this is not a joke.
And they're married with a kid.
Oh yeah, little Malibu Barbie.
Yeah, she literally, okay, so she named her daughter Malibu Barbie and then painted her nursery. No shit. This is on her nursery. It's the ColourPop Malibu Barbie. For those audio listeners, it's the ColourPop Malibu Barbie eyeshadow palette.
You know,
it's honestly painted on her baby's nursery wall.
Yeah, I kind of love it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's actually a really good palette though. So like, no shade to that. I mean, many shade to all of her other things, but like no shade to that.
Oh yeah, Trisha Paytas is very problematic. We're not gonna go through the list of everything that she has done wrong.
Can I say my favorite thing about this year with her though?
You can.
So the day the Queen died, Trisha Paytas went into labor. So everyone said that the Queen was being reincarnated as Trisha Paytas' daughter.
Okay, but wasn't that a joke though? Like she actually didn't go into labor that day.
No, she did though.
Oh,
but the baby wasn't born.
Right, that's what it was. Because everyone's like, "Oh my god," and she had to be like, It was on the same day.
Yeah.
Although you never know.
Yeah, like she went into early labor, but like and she literally made a video like, my child is not.
Honestly, I would love that for Lizzie.
Yeah. Lizzie, you're gonna pay for your crimes.
You are, as Trisha Paytas' baby.
Yeah, but no, Trisha Paytas has made fun of every single type of person on the internet. She has done so many racist things. Yeah, she is just like the most she has proved cancel culture doesn't exist because that woman keeps clawing her way. She calls herself a professional troll. And she would be correct.
Yeah. Yeah, she's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
If you don't know who she is, I want to say like count yourself lucky, but you're also kind of missing out. Like such an icon, cuz you love to hate her. That's the best way to look at it. Like you just love to hate her.
So Trisha she's always done forms of sex work.
Yes.
So Trisha never really works. jobs. She is an entertainer and she also does sex work. And sex work is real work. This is absolutely nothing against sex work. We are pro sex work here on this podcast. So she, I think, they're like, she had her own website, and then, like, obviously with the rise of OnlyFans, she was on OnlyFans. And I think she's like one of the top earners on there. Like, girl, get your bag. So Trisha is a bigger woman. She is not thin at all.
No.
So Trisha would post, like, obviously sexual content, and what Miss Colleen would do is screenshot her OnlyFans and share these pictures and make fun of these pictures with literal minors.
Yeah, she would be in calls with people. And again, this is all alleged. This is all from Trisha's video. Trisha put out a video talking about Colleen, of things that she learned about. Trisha had no idea.
Because Trisha and Colleen were friends, and they literally just started a podcast together.
They had a podcast together. On that podcast, Colleen said, "I would never make fun of your body. That is something so disgusting to do." And she turns around and does this. And again, that's why we say, like, say what you want about Trisha Paytas on the internet, but that's fucked up. Like, there's no other way around it. Like, that is so unbelievably fucked up. And that's so damning. Like, the fact that you share something. So, I want to say private. Like, yes, it's on OnlyFans. But this is content behind a paywall. This is something someone has paid for. And it's been, essentially, once you've made that transaction, it is shared consensually between those people. No one else. So
and
it's just such a break of trust. It
is, and it's disgusting. You're sharing it with literal minors. Like, Trisha Paytas has like barely any lines. Her one line is children.
Yeah,
like that is like her one line. And then, so one thing is, like, so Trisha Paytas has been friends with like so many different people who are really big on YouTube, and every one of them said that, like, they're scared of drama because Trisha will expose them, because she will, in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Trisha will push you under that bus so fast.
Yeah, because she has nothing to lose.
She has absolutely nothing to lose. She, like, she did it to Shane, Jeffrey, Ethan, David. Like, she did it to all of them because, you know, it's like that very much thing, hurt people hurt people. Well, you hurt her, so she's like, fuck it, I got nothing to lose. I'm gonna literally say every stupid, terrible thing you've ever done because you think I'm a joke, so I might as well just let it all out. The girl's got nothing to lose. She's just a live hand grenade.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And the thing is, though, is she is on your side, like, until you piss her off. And, like, that girl literally was, like, heavy defending people who did fucked up things because she's done many fucked up things.
Yeah.
But as soon as you come after her, and, like, this is just disgusting. Like,
oh yeah, it's so despicable. Like, there's no other way around it. Like, yeah. The stuff Colleen had done was, like, already bad. It was already like, glass was so full, and now it's just pouring out.
And that is this it's like, so Colleen keeps saying that she is not a groomer. So a groomer is somebody who I'm trying to find the best way to describe it. Do you have the?
Let me see.
Yes, that would probably be better than me going, how do I say this?
So, the definition of a child groomer, or just groomer in general, is someone who builds a relationship, trust, and emotional connection with a child or young person. So I want to say essentially someone under the age of 18. Someone's very impressionable. So they can manipulate, exploit, and abuse them.
Yes. Now, grooming doesn't always... So now, see how in the definition, it didn't say, like, for sexual purposes?
No.
Because you can groom someone and never have sex with them.
Yeah.
It's exploiting them and manipulating them. Colleen did groom these children. So Adam is the big one. So his name is Adam. He is the one who's been trying to he has led this brigade because he used to idolize Colleen. He briefly worked for her.
Yeah, he was a
And
really big fan.
And she literally, by grooming, she manipulated him. She had him working for him and her barely paying him. When a tweet that she approved had bad public outcry, she threw him 100% under the bus. She would make fun of him in group chats with other literal children, because you can emotionally groom somebody too, because and then there's a ton of stuff about her best friend who lives with her about saying like, you guys are my only friends to a bunch of children. Like, it's disgusting. It's like if I was friends with a bunch of 12-year-olds. Like, that's
gross.
that's gross. Like, so, and I mean, I even find people like that much, like, quite a bit. Yeah, so I turned 28. I don't care, like, that I'm almost 30. I don't give a shit. I need to let that out there. So I turned 28 this month. Happy birthday month to Kelsey.
Ooh.
I get whatever I want this month. Um, so my sister-in-law, she just turned 19. So I kept joking, like, oh, I'm gonna go out clubbing with you. But like we are like 10 years apart. So there's a huge age difference. She's family. Like, I joke around with her, I talk to her. But, I don't, like, I invited her to my birthday party last year where we had a sports day and a big game of kickball. But now she's like, and she was 18, but now she's 19, so now she can legally drink.
Yeah.
I had never invited her to a party when she was underage, even though she is my sister-in-law.
Yeah.
Because that's weird. So she was turning 19. I joked, did you want me to come? And then I was like, look, I'm just joking around. I don't have to come. And then she's like, no, I want you to come. And I was like, okay, so do you mind if Amy comes with me? So I'm not just the old lady hanging out with my sister and her friends. So Amy and I go to the bar, and oh God, we get to the country bar. And first of all, I don't like country music.
God, I never felt so old.
We felt so old when we walked in there, and we are still in our 20s, and like, it was a bunch of young girls and guys and like non-binary pals. Well, actually, no, it was a pretty straight bar.
Yeah, it was a pretty straight bar.
It was a pretty straight bar. And then, so I texted Emily. I was like, so what are the kids wearing out these days? Because I remember when I turned freshly 19, and we were at the taper end, I think, of wearing business casual to the club.
Oh, yeah.
So she was like jeans and a tank top, and like, so I showed up in jeans and a tank top and Converse, and I am so happy that the girls are like dressing way more comfortable for bars and clubs, because you could tell who the Gen Zs were. And then the millennials, like the elder millennials, they showed up in business casual. So as soon as Amy and I saw them, we're like, okay, at least we're not that old.
Yeah, there were some people there in like straight up like mini skirts and heels, and I was like, okay. Yeah. We're not that. No, we're not at that point yet.
Not a single Gen Zer was in a heel.
No.
Except for, like, I think one was in cowboy boots with that much of a heel.
And honestly, you know what? Good for them. I don't know why we I don't know why we ever thought wearing heels to a club were a good idea. Like, my feet were always destroyed after wearing heels to a club. And I'm just like, sneakers, I can wash that.
I was so great. Yeah, my sneakers are disgusting, but like, my I would wear high heels and they'd get ruined, and I'd be covered in blisters, and then I would be limping home, or I'd be like, Amy, carry me.
Yep, and I was not gonna do that.
No, and like, we had a good time. We went from incredibly straight bar to an incredibly gay bar.
Yeah, the juxtaposition.
Oh, it was fantastic.
It was so funny.
We had a good time, but like, we were there to make sure, she had a very safe 19th birthday, because on my 19th birthday, I almost died. So like, I wanted someone to be there to like keep an eye on me and make sure I got home safe. And, but we didn't press because they're 19.
Yeah.
Like, we're 27 and 28. Like, they are babies.
Yeah.
It's weird if I want to be like best friends with her, like right now. Like, maybe in the future, like 10, 15 years from now, I could see her and I being incredibly close.
Yeah. Like, I remember some of the girls at the club were talking about, like, oh, all the guys they found, like, super hot, or, like,
Oh my
all the,
god.
yeah, their one friend. And I don't mean to out your sister-in-law's friends. It was just very funny. Because we went to, like, the, the cowboy bar, and, like we said, it
Yeah.
was very straight. And
Very straight.
very straight. And look, we're not saying there's anything wrong with that. It's just Kelsey and I are not very straight.
No.
The opposite, actually.
Yeah.
So it was really, really funny. And also, I feel our friends, like, when we went out, we never really, like, we would always be like, ooh, we're gonna go out, we're gonna, like, try to find someone, and then never did. Like, we only hung out with each other the whole night. But it seemed like these girls kind of wanted to try a little bit, which also, good for them. I could never. But I remember one of her friends come up to me and she was like, man, that guy over there is so hot. I am so straight. And it's like, I cannot relate, but I'm so happy for you.
So happy for you.
So happy for you.
Yeah. Also,
Very
it
cute.
was fantastic. So we're at this country bar, and they're doing some line dancing, and we're like, all right, we would line dance every once in a while in Florida. Like,
Yeah.
I can have a hoedown, you know.
Hold on, throw down.
Yeah, but we're dancing, and I go, oh my God, Amy, don't look, but that guy behind you looks just like Mr. Beast.
And I look and I was like, holy shit, yeah. He spitting image, like, knock off Mr. Beast.
Spitting edge up.
Mr. Beast dupe, if you will.
Yeah, like, and it was so wild. And we're like, what is this like? Okay, so we know what the girlies are wearing, and men just look like Mr. Beast now. All right. And then they were like going off of, so we were leaving the bar and they're talking about, like, I was like, oh, so you thought he looked like Mr. Beast too? And they were like, you know who Mr. Beast is?
We're not that old.
Old.
What do you mean?
Of course I know who he is. I wanted a free, where was my free Xbox?
Yeah.
Was he buying the bar?
Well, one of the girls got a photo with him because she was like, yeah, I wanted a photo with him because he looked like Mr. Beast. I was like, that is fair.
Yeah. Of course I know the internet personality who loves to give away handfuls of money.
Yeah, I would like to be a recipient of that money, but I am not, so.
Exactly. But it was the fact that, like, 10 years, they're like, oh, can't believe you know who he is? Like, yeah. It was weird.
So
but
old. I can feel, like, my back season up every time. You know who that person is?
Yeah, but the other thing was they would go like, oh my God, that guy is so hot. And I'm like, that is an infant. That's a little, like, blonde-haired, blue-eyed baby fresh out of the womb.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry, I don't find a 19-year-old sexy. That's just disgusting to me.
No, I would just go, good for you. Like, absolutely, yeah. Like,
yeah.
Like, sure, why not?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's not ugly,
Yeah.
But, like, I can't have that relationship with them because I'm like,
For sure.
It's weird. Like, I was, because, like, we were at her father's wedding, and then we were both a bit, well, no, actually, no, I was drunk, she wasn't, but, like, the photographer was quite attractive, and I go to her, like, do you think the photographer's hot? And she's like, yeah, and I was like, oh, good. But the photographer was probably in her, like, late 20s as well, so I'm like, all right, I see an age-appropriate person.
Yes.
Right? Like, I feel like you can talk up age, like, as hot, but, like, down gets, like, creepy. Like, I can, like, because, moms love The Rock.
Yes.
So so when my mom going to me, who's much younger, obviously, because I came out of her, don't you think The Rock is so handsome?
Or, like, Vin Diesel or Shamar Moore. That was my mom.
Yeah.
Like,
or Kurt Russell.
Yep.
Now, obviously, this is Cougar Erasure.
Cougar Erasure.
Apparently. But that's the thing, is you have to kind of know, like, when it's appropriate to talk about things with certain age groups. Like, what I would talk about with my friends, I would not talk about with her, even though she's 19 and is an adult.
No.
But, like, Colleen was literally, if we get back to Colleen, it was just a little tangent, but I promise it'll make sense. Colleen was talking about like her divorce
With minors.
with minors. If your parents don't even want to talk to kids about their divorce, why the hell are you talking to random children who idolize you?
Yeah, go to
about
therapy.
Your divorce. Exactly. Go to therapy.
You can afford it, Colleen.
And she was like, "Oh, you know, I'm not a groomer. I'm just a loser." Like Ludwig, Ludwig is also like one of the biggest creators. He has a video called like "I Am Not Your Friend." I believe that's the title of it. But that's the whole basis of it, that he is not your friend. Creators are not your friend.
No.
Right? Like, we've blurred the line between, because it used to be celebrities were so unattainable, but internet creators have become so much more attainable to us.
Yeah.
And we have this false sense of familiarity with them. And then there's the whole thing where it comes into that parasocial relationship. But these people are not your friends. You don't truly know anything about them. No. Just because somebody posts a video like once a week, you don't know if they're like murdering people in a back alley every Saturday night. Like, you don't know these people, and then you set yourself up to be taken advantage of. And some take advantage in horrendous ways, and some take advantage in what some maybe seemingly innocent, but like, it's just like if someone were to listen to our podcast and have never met us, like, you don't know us.
No.
You know, like, we like to tell stories, but we could be making everything up. My name might not even be Kelsey. I could be Roberta, and Amy's name is actually Francesca, and we don't live in Vancouver. We actually live in Minnesota. Like, you don't really
and the thing is also
know anything.
People are not, like, when you are online, people, like, no one, what's the phrasing? Your audience doesn't deserve to know you that way, right? There's only so much information you should share. Obviously, there are some creators who overshare a lot, like Brittany Broski. She will literally post TikToks from the toilet, and I'm like, girl, this is a little personal. But she does it, and she does not care. But she doesn't talk really about, like, her personal life or, like, anything like that, and sometimes people get really nosy, and it's just like, that's not your place.
Yeah.
It's not your place.
Like, I want to know why her podcast with Sarah ended, but that's not my place to know, apparently, and that's whatever.
Yeah. Exactly. I know, I'm really sad about that.
I know, I really enjoyed that podcast. I don't know what happened.
Me too. And Brittany's new podcast, it's okay. Just okay. There's some good sound clips from it, for sure. But, yeah, pretty sad.
But that's the thing, is like, you have to, it's that imbalance of power. It's just like when you go to school, you should not be your teacher's not your friend, they're your teacher, right? Yeah. It's all about the power imbalance. Like, I remember when I was in college, my teacher was like, I cannot add you all on social media.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not allowed to. Like, the only, when I was done college, like, when I went to, like, business school, I added my teacher on LinkedIn. That is different.
Oh, for sure. That's a business platform.
That's business. Then adding him on Twitter. And it's just like, that's kind of what you have that line, because it's that you're in a power imbalance, right? It's just like sleeping with your boss. It's a power imbalance.
Exactly.
You being the lower person and you being the higher person of power, the higher person of power is supposed to be the one who has the responsibility, because the lower person of power cannot fully, truly, I believe, consent.
Yeah, I agree.
So, because it's, like, I think of, like, some of my favorite actors and my favorite singers. So, like, my favorite singer is Adele. I love Adele. I cannot afford to go see her, like, in Vegas, but oh boy, that's the one thing I wanted to do. If Adele came up to me and started talking to me about, like, hey, how's it going, blah, 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 I would just be like, I would sit there and listen. Like, I could have to go pick my grandma up for the airport, but no, Adele is talking to me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like, but it's that huge power imbalance, right?
Mhm.
So I can't. Adele could literally start telling me the grossest stuff about, like, oh, so yeah, like I really like to pick my nose and eat it, and like I would just be sitting there like Adele is talking to me.
Yeah, like you're so enamored, and who are you to tell a celebrity to like stop talking,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, and that's because she's all. It's a difference between, like, I think Leonardo DiCaprio is gross. Thankfully, I am not his target woman. I'm
Woohoo,
over
we've
the age of
aged out.
25. Yeah, so if Leonardo DiCaprio came up to me, I'd be like, okay, whatever, and I would just kind of walk away because I have no desire to interact with him.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is all these children were her fans.
Yep.
She wasn't just seeking out random kids.
Oh, I fully believe Colleen knew what she was doing. She had to have.
Exactly. You
She had
have
to
to know
have.
what you're doing.
Hmm.
Because I'm sure she has someone she idolizes, right? Like you are, like, everybody has somebody they idolize. There's always going to be that level of power with somebody. You're never going to be 100% on the same field as every single person on this earth, because it's literally not possible.
Yeah.
So she knew exactly what she was doing. It's because she said she was a loser, and she said she got bullied. So, like, I find that there's two types of people who got bullied in high school. There's the one that is scared that once they do have friends, that nobody actually truly likes them,
Hmm.
or the ones that they do have friends, well, like, I have to be popular. Like, you will, like, they almost turn into the monster themselves.
Yeah.
Like, I was very bullied in high school. I did barely had any friends at all. Now I have more friends than I've ever had in my entire life. My wedding is literally like almost 100 people because I have too many friends and family. And it's weird to me because I'm like, do you actually like me? Like,
Yeah, it feels odd.
yeah. And that's the thing, is I feel like she went the other way of, she wanted to be the popular mean girl. She literally, like, went full Caddy from the Plastics.
She really did.
Hmm.
She put herself in the burn book,
Yeah.
or at least tried to.
Exactly. So the whole thing is disgusting. I don't know how, well, I mean, I really don't know how she could have apologized correctly, but this was far from it.
Yeah, this was not it, sis. This
Yeah.
was absolutely, this was a very textbook what not to do. Because
Yeah.
wasn't there some influencer who did like an apology video, but it was like a contemporary dance or something?
Yeah, yeah. There was a
Yeah.
TikToker. She did a, like,
Yes.
I think it was like Sienna May. I might
Yeah,
be totally wrong.
I think that sounds
Yeah.
correct.
But it was like,
Yeah, and people were like, "Oh, now we're just like dancing to say sorry." Now we got a
yeah.
full song with the only ukulele chords that
We
Colleen
we've
knows.
we finished the musical theater trifecta. We have spoken word, dance, and song. Someone
No.
can someone can make it a musical. Apology, a YouTube musical.
Oh
Just like we
God.
had Ratatouille, the TikTok musical.
I think a really popular Halloween costume this year again is going to be a big cardboard cutout of a YouTube
Oh
frame,
yeah.
and it says "Hi,"
I
carrying around a
just
ukulele.
I mean,
Exactly.
we could both go. We have 3 ukuleles in this house, Amy.
Why do we have so many?
Well, Trevor has a bigger one that's like a nice acoustic one, and then he has a smaller one that I think is a watermelon. Then I took this from the Starbucks Lost and Found
Right.
because nobody claimed it after 2 months, so Edwin was gonna throw it out.
Yes. No, that's fair.
Uh-huh.
That is fair. No,
Yeah.
I'm not sad at all to see the fall of Colleen. I think that's just a very it was a person who kind of plucked from obscurity, and it was a long time coming.
Mhm.
It was a long time coming, and she got away with it for way too long, and I'm just happy now that all of her victims and people that had to deal with her are finally getting even a smidge amount of justice, because man, did she
Mhm.
make herself look like an ass.
Yeah.
So
In her own words, Well, fuck me. What do I know?
Truly. Truly. So
On that,
on that note, this is not a
yeah.
challenge this time. Although
No.
it would be really funny. If y'all also lived under a rock, a brand new social media platform came out yesterday. So the day we're talking about this, it's brand new. It's a baby. Happy birthday, I guess. Threads came out, which essentially is, I keep calling it dollar store Twitter.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, it's dollar store Twitter because you can, essentially, you can tweet, you can retweet, you can quote retweet, you can like, share, but you can't post like gifs or anything like that. So it's very rudimentary. And now it's the whole thing. And praise all the social media managers who have to deal with a brand new social platform. That is essentially, it's like we said, dollars for Twitter, Twitter dupe, whatever the young kids want to call it. I, as one of my first threads, I threaded, because we said tweeted. Now is it I threaded? Yeah. I sewed.
Well, because they took, because someone called something a Twitter thread, so they're like, we're just gonna take the thread part.
Makes sense. I totally get that. Yeah. I don't mind the name. I just don't know what to call it. I guess I threaded. I stitched.
Yeah, stitched. But then stitch reminds me of like
TikTok.
Yeah.
The video. I guess I will say I threaded. Posted. Posted is lame. No, we need something cooler than posted. I'm gonna say threaded until I can think of something better. I said into the world, who do you think the first celebrity to be canceled on Threads is gonna be?
Is somebody already canceled?
No, I wish. That'd be so funny. Could you imagine? No, I tweeted that mainly to be like, I want this to mark the day and wait for it to happen. Although Ellen's on Threads and she called it gay Twitter and I didn't like that. No.
Ellen's already been canceled.
Yeah.
Okay, so is Colleen with one L or two? I want to see if she is on Threads.
I think it's 2 L's.
No, she is not.
She shouldn't be.
What about Miranda? All right. At least she is not joined Threads.
Not yet. So,
yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. What is your prediction? Because, I mean, we are seeing rises and falls of social media. My prediction with Threads is that the app will kind of die, so they'll try to integrate it back into the main Instagram app.
That's kind of my thinking, because it was very interesting to me that they made it its own separate app, and it's kind of, there's no like really easy way to get from Threads to Instagram or from Instagram to Threads. Like, it's not as seamless as I think they want it to be. The one thing, or the couple things Threads has going for it is like, you don't have to start from scratch. That's huge. Essentially, like, it will import all your followers and also like import people who are following you. So you don't really start from scratch. Like, I think I already have like 50 followers. You can say no to that, but I did it mainly because I was like, I want to know how this is going to work.
Yeah. And because you have to sign up with Threads with your Instagram account. Yes. One thing I think they should have done. So I have like, I know we talked about Colleen, but we want to end with something light. So
yes,
on Instagram, I'm trying to find. Okay. So we have the "Can you take my shift?" here. So you know at the bottom you have all these things.
Yes.
I think they should have a home. Like, I think they should get like, they should move the search to the corner. Like, I think they should get rid of the search at the bottom and have like a picture, a video, and a text, and then your own profile. So if you just want to look at pictures, you just want to look at text, or you just want to look at reels, that would make the most sense to me.
See, my thing is, I think they should just put Threads at the top. Because people, I still use the search feature quite a bit.
Yeah.
I think where you have like your likes and then your messages, I just think they should have a threads button there. So then you can just like switch over to that.
Yeah.
Or like on the Instagram logo itself, if you click on it, it says following or favorites. What if they just had threads integrated into that?
That actually makes a lot more sense.
It makes a lot more sense because you're already showing either who you're following, your favorite people who you're following are, which is kind of useless. I don't understand at all.
Yeah.
And then you could just have threads, and it could just boop, boop. Instagram, if you take that idea. I mean, it's your app.
Yeah, true. Mark, send us a check.
Yeah. If that's what happened,
yeah,
you heard it here first. I doubt it, but
yeah. All right. Before we end this podcast, before we go, Amy, I want you to make a crazy prediction that is going to happen in 2024.
Taylor Swift's gonna get hit by a car.
Okay.
Like, that's not that crazy, but girls touring a lot. I feel like we might hear something about a tour bus incident or something. I'm gonna go with that.
Okay.
I don't want to wish that into the world.
No, we do not want to wish that on to Blondie.
No.
Although she won't come to Canada, so.
True. Also, she took away the problematic lyric. And, Better Than Revenge.
I know! She took away the slut-shaming lyric.
Come on, let us have one nice thing.
Yeah. Okay. My 2024 prediction is... I think Joe Biden is gonna get into... Like, he's gonna, like, break an arm or a leg skiing.
Okay.
And Kamala's gonna have to take over for a little bit.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I could see it. Dude's old. Does he go skiing?
Dude's old and frail, and I mean, did you see the thing that, like, his son posted him, like, driving and doing cocaine or something?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
who knows? The world isn't real. Life isn't real. Everything is made up.
Everything's made up. Nothing's super serious. Yeah. Everything.
Exactly. All right, Amy. Shall you give us the outro?
Thank you guys so much for listening or watching this episode. We are live on Twitch on the first and third Thursdays of every month, and then the episode comes out on audio platforms the second and fourth Thursdays of every month. You can listen to the podcast on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Anchor Podcasts, wherever podcasts are hosted. You can find us. You can also find the VODs on our YouTube channel at Can You Take My Shift. You can follow us on Twitter at CYTMS Podcast, and you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Can You Take My Shift. You can follow Kelsey at Kelsey P. It's on Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. Also Threads. And you can find me, Amy and Shelly Amy, on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, and Threads. That's all. All these, so many things to remember.
We're also on TikTok, too.
Oh, right. Yeah, we are on TikTok. I never show TikToks. I always forget. Not that I forget about it, but I, like, don't even really use it. So it's just, that's a forgotten platform. But until next time, Kelsey, can you take my shift?
I have to apologize. Amy and I broke the law on Saturday night. I smuggled tequila in my boobs into the country bar. And we went to the bathroom and did shots out from my tequila boob flask in the bar. We shouldn't have smuggled alcohol in, but you know what a double is $15.
No, I'm not an accomplice in that. I don't know what she's talking about at all.
What do I know? Fuck me, right?
Yeah.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system.